Hello, hello. Welcome to day 1002 of Connecting the Thoughts. Quote for today is like a game of Chinese whisper, what you perceive from the message of life depends on how much attention you pay. Now, I know that was a long thought, that was a long quote, but isn't that what it's all about? The kind of attention that you are paying. And before we dive into the quote, it's time for Showreel. Welcome back. And the conversation today is all about the kind of attention you are paying to what life is telling you. The conversation is around life being like a game of Chinese whisper. So, what do I mean by that? I said life is like Chinese whisper. What you perceive from the message of life is directly connected. Hey, Cindy, I am so happy to hear that you're watching. Thank you, Hamad. And Cindy, I hope you're feeling better. I hope you're well. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in today. And interesting quote that we have today. The conversation is around like a game of Chinese whisper. What you perceive from life, from the message of life, depends on how much attention you pay. So it's interesting because sometimes in this game of life, the message that we receive from life itself becomes a tag conversation that you're having with friends. It becomes a tag conversation that you're having with people in your circle of influence. And then suddenly you see yourself taking on the impact of what they are saying on yourself. And this could then begin to influence the kind of decisions you make in relationships. It begins to impact the relationships, the decisions you take at work, your financial risks or experiences you allow yourself, and it begins to kind of control the choices you make in your life. People influences, people that you are interacting with, content that you're consuming begins to affect the things that you do. Thank you. I'm reading your comment, and I'm so feeling grateful, and I mean wanted to hear your voice. Thank you so much, Cindy. So, what have you and who have you been listening to? Hi, Srinivas. Welcome to the conversation. Um, who have you been listening to, and who have you been having those important conversations with, and how has that begun to impact? How has that begun to impact the way you look at life itself, the message of life? If life throws a challenge at you, who's your go-to person? Who's the person that you go to and kind of discuss this with? And when you discuss it with them, and then they kind of, replay back that message to you, what do they say to you that kind of changes what you had conveyed to them? Because isn't that how Chinese whisper works, right? You're given a sentence or something, a phrase to say to the person standing beside you. You whisper it in their ear and you say the message and go, and when you pass on the message to that person, the person listens to it from their level of listening. They listen to it from how they receive it. You could say something and they could receive something else because they are listening from their point of listening, if you may call it, and they then pass it on to somebody else. But here in this context, what I'm saying is when you share something with someone about your life, about a challenge, about joy, about something that you're working towards, that person is going to receive that message based on their intellect. And then in that conversation, they are then going to pass on to you, as in you're going to take from them their understanding of it. And then that's going to begin to influence the way you look at your message. Let me know if this is making sense to you, because there's a lot of things that I'm bringing to the table here, but let me know if this is making sense to you. Just type in a yes if it's kind of connecting with you, or is it really becoming like Chinese whisper where I'm saying something to you and you're perceiving it from your context, from your using your filters of life. And it's great to run ideas with people that you feel are a good impact, or you feel safe to discuss your ideas with. But sometimes, even though you have aired your ideas, it's a good idea to also kind of come back to your work desk and then look at all those resources and say, okay, this is what this person said to me. Now, do I really want to do this way? Or should I take another approach? So, gather feedback from everyone, but don't let that feedback be the thing that kind of weighs you down or kind of discourages you, or maybe throws you off track, unless it's truly in alignment with your own values as well. So Srinivas says, you perceive from our perspective everything and often react, then respond. Precisely. Thank you so much, Srinivas, for making this simpler for me, because I was doing Chinese whispers, which was also fun. But exactly, when you are speaking to people about life situations, your message of life, as I said in the quote, when you're speaking to people about your message of life, about what you think, how you want to move forward, make sure that you receive it. You receive it, but also understand which bits of that feedback, which bits of their perspective do you want to really apply. Listen to everyone, understand what works for you in your model of the world, what works for you in alignment to your value system, and then apply what works for you. So these are my thoughts when I say, and it's a long one, when I say, like a game of Chinese whisper, what you perceive from the message of life depends on how much attention you pay. So look at what you need to pay attention to, look at who you need to engage with, and if you're not engaging with anyone, if you don't want to really take it, bring it out there, share it with the world, if you really want to do this by yourself, then seriously, just sit with yourself. Write things down. People writing things down. I cannot say, I cannot really emphasize enough the significance of writing down what you're feeling, writing down what your thoughts are. Sit with yourself, give yourself that luxury, that joy of sitting with yourself, paying attention to yourself. Hey Mamu, thank you for watching. So sit with yourself, write down, and my daughter's watching, so she definitely knows I'm a list person. I make lists for everything. So write down what you want to do, write down the ifs and buts, write down the possibilities, assess yourself, and then pay attention to what you're feeling within yourself and make a decision to move forward. So these are my thoughts about Chinese whisper, about life being a game of Chinese whisper, and how you perceive the message of life truly depends on how much attention you pay. So if this has been of value to you, please write in comments saying, I am listening. I am listening. I am listening to whatever life is telling me. I am listening to whatever the others are bringing to me as feedback. And then I am listening to what my values are telling me in terms of what I can do for myself. So share with a friend, engage, share with a friend, give this some love. And if you haven't already, hey, I like that. I'm listening curiously. So also, if you haven't already, the mastermind begins on the 2nd of Feb. I have Abdurrahim who has already registered. Thank you, Abdurrahim, for making that decision. And in case you would like to register, because we still have space for more amazing people to come on board, if you would like to register, please sign up using this link. I'm going to share it just now. Please use this link to register, receive more details about. It's called Reset for Success, and it gives you access to conversations, group coaching with me for upcoming 90 days. So do this, and thank you, Abdurrahim, once again for being on the mastermind. I really look forward to 3 months of working together with you. And until tomorrow, keep smiling, keep shining, stay safe, and thank you for connecting the thoughts with me. Thank you so, so much. Thank you, Raksha. Thank you, Abdurrahim and Aida and Srinivas and Cindy. Get well soon. Take care of yourself. Love you lots.